KUAM TVH, first on Guam.
Half a day and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Weekend Edition. I'm Mitsuki Horiyama. So glad you could join us. A former Guam woman indicted in a San Antonio District Court admits to her role in a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. Janet Yamanaka-Mello, an ex-civilian government employee, pleaded guilty to stealing $108 million from the Army, according to the San Antonio Express. She used the money meant to help military children to bankroll a life of opulence that lasted nearly 7 years. Mello, once a salutatorian of her high school graduating class in Guam, pleaded guilty to 5 counts of mail fraud and 5 charges of filing fraudulent tax returns. She acknowledged committing crimes that amounted to one of the biggest thefts of public funds in Texas history. The case led to Mello being nicknamed Gucci Goddess. The mail fraud charges each carry a maximum 20 years in prison. The tax charges each carry a maximum of 3 years in prison. Her sentencing is scheduled for May 29th. A disgraced Guam radio executive convicted in a scam involving more than $1 million could be getting out of prison earlier than expected. Evan Monvel Cohen, who is serving an 82-month sentence in a Kentucky federal prison, won his fight before the U.S. Court of Appeals. He argued the District Court of Guam's decision to run his sentences consecutively instead of concurrently was a, quote, simple mistake. The appeals court agreed, reversing it and remanding it back to the federal court in Guam for resentencing. As KUAM reported, Monvel Cohen pleaded guilty to charges of bank fraud and use of means of identification in furtherance of fraud. The feds contend in one scheme, he used another man's identity to rent a home in Summoning to have an affair but never paid rent. In the other, he offered a man a job at the advertising firm C2 Social in 2019 and sent the man a check to relocate to Guam, but the check bounced. A resentencing date has not yet been scheduled. A man charged in back-to-back armed robberies reported nearly 2 years ago is denied his request to get out of prison. 24-year-old Juan San Nicolas Shargaloff charged with 2 counts each of second and third degree robbery. Both include a special allegation of a deadly weapon used in a felony. The court had previously released him following his arrest. Court documents state he violated the conditions of his electronic monitoring program. He was taken back into custody before again fighting to be released. Superior Court Magistrate Judge Benjamin Cizon denied the request, stating San Nicolas continues to pose a threat to the community. He is being held on $10,000 cash bail. As KUAM reported, San Nicolas allegedly robbed a man at First Beach in Ipan while armed with a gun and knife. He allegedly fled with the victim's car before heading to the Inarajan market and robbing the store. Well, a man who was found guilty beating a man with a baseball bat and then robbing him is fighting to have his conviction overturned in the Supreme Court of Guam. Julian Hernandez reports.
A man convicted in a December 2022 robbery and assault case has his appeal heard in the High Court. Joiner Anis Sorum, also known as Slim Thug, was found guilty of robbery and aggravated assault with special allegations of using a deadly weapon last April. Convicted of these charges, Soram is facing 50 years in the Department of Corrections. He filed to appeal his conviction to the Supreme Court. Parties had presented their oral arguments before the justices this week. Soram's attorney Brian Eggleston tells the court that there are certain specifics in the deadly weapons allegation that make a difference in sentencing. Defense arguing the victim's injuries were not that bad.
It requires permanent disfigurement, protracted unconsciousness, or death. And
doesn't it also just require serious pain?
It also could be serious pain. And I think the main reason behind that intuition is that it is simply a matter of fact about the human body, that it has one particular place that is incredibly susceptible and in some ways uniquely susceptible to blunt force impact. Anything that hits someone's head has the possibility of causing brain injury, which in turn has the possibility of causing death.
Eggleston added jury wasn't properly instructed, and Joyner was denied the opportunity to state his exact role in the incident during the trial. However, prosecuting attorney Randall Albright stated that regardless how bad the victim was injured, Sorum was properly convicted.
The destructive potential of a baseball bat is self-evident, as People versus KUAM shows us. 3 case. And here, the luck of the draw that he was able to flee after viewing the bat, injured by the bat, property taken, is a justifiable, reasonable basis to fear that it is a deadly weapon, and it's well wielded as such.
The justices will now mull over the arguments before issuing a decision. As we reported, Joyner Sorum and his brother Joe Sorum were accused of beating a man with a baseball bat and robbing him of $20. After the robbery, the suspects fled, but they were followed by a witness who identified them to police. Authorities later found the pair with a baseball bat, the victim's watch, and stolen cash. Julian Hernandez, KUAM News.
When it comes to the Guam Police Department, what will it take to recruit and retain officers? Our Jonigan Charfres has more from GPD's recent oversight hearing with lawmakers.
The Guam Police Department is currently facing a critical shortage of manpower, with recruitment and retention issues exacerbating the problem.
That is GPD Chief Stephen Ignacio during his presentation at last week's oversight hearing with the Public Safety Chair, Senator Chris Barnett, and lawmakers. Ignacio said that despite efforts to address these concerns, the department is at a standstill.
The shortage is further compounded by impending retirements and resignations due to the early retirement out program passed by the late Senator Pito Terlain.
What's also causing officers to head elsewhere?
Overtime compensation is not sufficient to incentivize patrolmen to stay in the force. The loss of patrol officers to other agencies due to higher pay is also a significant concern. Just within the past 2 weeks, 3 more police officers have resigned. These issues are leading to a serious depletion of police forces, creating a vacuum that will further strain an already stretched manpower.
To date, GPD has 323 personnel. Of this total, 257 are uniformed officers and 66 are civilian staff. But with subsequent resignations, it has created a net loss within the department, with fewer officers in 2024 than in 2019. However, despite these challenges, Ignacio said that GPD will prioritize recruitment and retention efforts in order to strengthen their effectiveness. Unfortunately, retention efforts such as an 18% pay increase and 10 to 15% incentive pay for uniformed officers has not been enough to entice officers to stay. Despite these challenges, Ignacio remains optimistic.
I want to reiterate the Guam Police Department's unwavering commitment to addressing community concerns regarding public safety and officer misconduct. Trust between law enforcement and the community is paramount. We are committed to proactive policing and community engagement as we work towards building trust and positive relationships with our community.
And although Ignacio acknowledges that there is work ahead,
rest assured the Guam Police Department is fully dedicated to upholding the highest standards of professionalism and integrity amongst our officers.
Jonigan Charfres, KUAM News.
Garapan is described as the heart of the Saipan's tourism district, but the backbone of the industry, small local businesses in the area, facing immense pressure to stay standing amid a fiscal crisis. Regional correspondent Tomas Magolanya speaks with local owners voicing their frustrations.
Sabine co-owner Christine Hofschneider-Taylor and her husband Luther took the risk and opened a new cafe after a pandemic over a year ago.
Moving back to Saipan, we really didn't know how it was going to be.
But she says the risk was worth it, and while they welcome everyone through their doors, they're especially focused on serving locals.
I think it's super important that my husband and I focused on the local community because these are the people that are here every day.
But building community can be difficult amid a fiscal crisis. Hofschneider-Taylor hopes small businesses can get more support in the uncertain tourism market, such as being promoted during major events like cruise ship visits. It's a struggle familiar to longtime business owner Steve Jang, the general manager of Ete Cafe and Plumeria Steakhouse just down the street from Hofabine.
It's just the name of the game right now is to survive. If I'm very happy that I pay my staff, I'm very happy that I'm paying CUC. But if we want to change the dynamic of Saipan, there are certain things that we have to take in action as a government and as a whole community. We would like to I'd like to see some of the changes of the Saipan, such as like image of Saipan.
That image includes infrastructure projects that face major delays. He's also concerned about public safety and says there is a need for heightened law enforcement. Less than a mile away, business owner John Lee, who helps operate Cha Cafe, American Pizza and Grill, and Hoffaday Roasting Company, shares similar concerns. He says lawmakers need to better communicate with them.
We have not had a single program from the COVID funds that have supported small businesses. And every jurisdiction in the U.S., including Guam, have had some kind of small business support.
He says they do their best to hire and train young locals, but they can't do it alone, and major infrastructure project delays in Garapan do not help.
If there is no funding for it and the entire district, the heartbeat of Saipan, is paralyzed, what are we going to do?
Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
Decision 2024 is another month closer to the August 3rd primary. KUAM is bringing you the interview with Nick Delgado featuring the candidates for Guam Delegate. You can catch the first episode this Tuesday, March 12th, immediately following KUAM News Primetime. First in studio is a candidate on a Democratic ticket. She's no stranger to our airwaves. Ginger Cruz sits down with us, talking about her decision to run for the D.C. office. She also announces her platform for her campaign. Hear what she and the other delegate candidates have to say to voters. The interview airs each Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. only on KUAM. Well, if you've been to Carabao Brewing in Hagåtña, you may have seen owner Anna Johnson's two friendly dogs she brings to work every day. They're rescue boonies she adopted from the Happily Ever After rescue team, also known as HEART. The brewery has been working with the volunteer animal rescue group, helping to raise funds so they can continue to help stray animals in need. Since Carabao Brewing opened up shop in 2019, owner Anna Johnson has seen her fair share of stray animals near the Hagåtña Brewery, hungry for love and care.
The island of Guam has a very large pet population with strays, cats, dogs. And so for us, it's really important to help those strays, whether it be spay and neuter, whether it be foster and adoption. So it's really important to us to kind of help those animals that are in need.
It's why they're working together with volunteer animal rescue group Happily Ever After rescue team, also known as HEART. Lena Leishman is HEART's vice president.
We started out kind of doing a little bit of rescue, and it's kind of grown a little bit more. So we occasionally can find stray animals, help find them homes, but then we also put any donations and funding through to help support other community members who do rescue.
Through community support, Carabao Brewing recently donating over $1,000 to the rescue group. HEART makes tie-dye shirts promoting animal welfare to raise funds, and Carabao sells them at their brewery.
It's great. We can do great things with that donation.
From spaying and neutering to fostering and adoption. It helps them rescue boonies in need of a home like Iggy and Roy. Iggy was rescued from Mangilao Back Road and Roy from Hagåtña neighborhood. Both dogs were found severely emaciated. They've since recovered after finding a forever home with Johnson.
Call him my chunky monkey. He was 9 pounds when he was found. He's now 30.
But there's countless more four-legged friends in need of a home like Gotao, who's healing from a broken elbow. It's why Carabao Brewing and HEART are asking the community for their assistance.
HEART is always looking for donations. They can be made here at Carabao Brewing. They can be made online. So I definitely would encourage people to help support spaying and neutering and adoption of these stray babies.
Carabao will have a donation box where customers can donate pet supplies. You can also make a monetary contribution through PayPal at sterling@heartguam.com. Time for a quick pause, but keep it here. More Weekend Edition when we return.
Troy Polamalu Safety, a.k.a. the Quiet Storm. Troy's seen more out of the corners of his cold steel eyes than most mortal men have seen straight on. The last thing an offense would witness? A fury of flowing mane, incoming at high speed.
Hey!
Cat-like quickness and supernatural instincts like Troy's only come once in a lifetime. And oh, how grateful we are that they came in ours. No one made the beloved burg of Pittsburgh feel quite as safe as this safety. The Hyundai Tucson with advanced safety and tech, because even safeties could use a little more safety themselves.
The KUAM Brewery was established with a simple mission: to deliver the island we call home with fresh craft beer, made with the cleanest and tastiest ingredients. From IPAs, stouts, sours, and everything in between. We are here with good beer to be a catalyst for creativity and community. This is your beer, KUAM. Come home to the simple, fresh taste of the locally brewed beer. The KUAM Brewery. KUAM Brewery reminds you to drink good beer responsibly.
Welcome back to Weekend Edition. Nihi Indigenous Media kicked off Season 2 of Ulu Hulu. Take a look.
Flores saudade seguir.
Janet Flores.
Imazamo na klasingaga kumukuna gihilo tagwan. Azuzu? Ahi.
Estigi angin tasoda gilum guma una atsalunyo taktaga ni matsisteme gebay gogasti.
Sen sadly ina goga di halamini na tano sa mapupuno I monoxia.
Tisini on sora esti luta bula gwini guahan. Kulet black. Hungan. Okay.
Kulet black. Hungan.
O gijasti na paluma staba mege gini.
Tisini gumupu esti na klasin paluma.
Menosraga gi sagi.
Un lili esti iza luta.
Manuk. Gua na isla gi Zamaleso. Zangwaha kulen pumareo na sunido esti.
No malala ko gilo taon.
Koko.
Hungan.
Kulan gimin esti loko igitampon Christmas. Maipi, mangi como maipi o nazizi marshmallow.
Hot cocoa.
Kilo. Lopo ka masangan hot.
Coco.
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 Floricisti. Lo.
Ilang-ilang. Pogo.
No. Kalan kojao. Izonia figura.
Flores lo gigi gi hulu atsu.
Inanya pareha zani un paluma giluta.
Titirika?
Ay.
Un chuli solo gigi contrai atsu na banda.
Oh, Gasoli.
You can't it?
Oh, Gasoli.
Okay. Tanya si Serena umomak gwini?
Itasi.
Golf malagudzo na umomak giani na hanum. Dan menenghing.
Sando.
Waha esti gilantu. Tumata zo kampapa.
River?
Okay, pues apa no gifino sa moro ni?
Titungo malefa.
Gijasti na bapokseo na kumo na dumongklo gikanta na fa.
Sado.
Esti panda makano.
Esti no na tronco. Met good. Lo redondo.
Gagistin tronco che contra I saduk na lugar ni sinyang soda.
Piao. Sabra gai guahan ki lugar te. Lo upuno sa sigia mandoko.
Pio.
Ha.
Gwaha hugwat na hulaknya. Za kulen kulo pa hilet beddi ini beddi dan kulen amarizzo.
Esti na klasingaga zanya krumusa gitalan.
Gof zaniha kumano itada.
Kulebla.
O gijasti un fiun sat giu sa leg mo agot piu gatu lu gi anay takoni famagun ulo gi boti.
Gua quatro pet na.
Anak ko dadalaknya gua
Ilitay.
Gan.
Oh, ilitay.
Kulang gua li lola dong kulo.
Oh, alitay.
Gan. Ang bisa. Begsagi imaw na clue pinet na, okay?
Kula ni familia ni ultimo na gaga.
Gali.
Gan.
Guijasti few un gatsa gyalum guma. Goti sinyo gatsa longa gatsa gyalum guma.
Oh, gali.
Mamalik kayo mo na. Naadan siya eh.
Okay.
Sure, is that?
Gan.
Okay.
Ini gwi kulang hilitay lo dikiki.
Wali. Sorry.
Catch the latest episodes every Monday during Mes Tomorrow on Nihi Indigenous Media YouTube channel. Keep it here. Sports is next.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replay, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Oh, yeah. Hot honey pizza and wings from
Pizza Wahat.
Pizza Wahat.
Pizza Wahat. Hot honey pizza and wings. It's the first new flavor to make you say Pizza Wahat.
KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup is brought to you by Gatorade. Greatness starts with G.
If you know anything about Guam geckos, it's that no matter what the situation, they always have a tendency to come back. And that's precisely what happened for the GW boys basketball team in the public school championship game. Down a dozen to Ukadu, these geckos rallied with a frantic fourth quarter, winning 41-38 to claim the title. It's GW's first championship in 12 years and the first time the geckos have claimed the JV and varsity titles in the same season. It's a remarkable accomplishment for a remarkable group of young men. So let's now hear from the resilient purple and gold and first-year coach Desmond Mandel about digging deep, what it took to come from behind, and what this means going into this weekend's Champs versus Champs title game against the island's top private school.
Everybody here says, and just like how our coach says, it all starts here at practice. We just got to stay locked in and ready for our next game.
What makes GW's title special is the road they took to get there. The team finished the regular season with a 6-4 record and wasn't at full strength for every game, but coach told them they'd earned a chance to be great and to seize the moment.
You know, we faced a little bit of adversity throughout the year between injuries and just some games where we didn't show up, but it always comes down to, either you're losing or you're learning, right? And we had to learn on each game. So yeah, and when it came down to it, I told them the tried and true statement of, success is when preparation meets opportunity. And, we felt like we were prepared. We felt like, we learned from our early losses. We learned from the games we played against those teams, during the regular season. And again, this was the opportunity that we wanted. It's the opportunity they talked about and hoped for in the beginning of the year. And now that they got to that spot, it was, again, about grabbing that opportunity.
Celebrations aren't always choreographed, and when the final whistle sounded, all the players spontaneously ran straight to their coach to embrace him for what they'd all achieved. Not just for that moment, but all season long.
He's a new coach. He's our new coach. Just came in this year, and we trusted him to take us here, and I think he executed well, and we did good.
The reason why I was in that corner was I wanted them to have their moment, but I was so excited. I wanted to celebrate, so I kind of stepped aside to celebrate on my own to let them have their moment, and they ran over to me. Right when I turned around, they were all running towards me, and honestly, that just thinking about it, gets me choked up, because you know, it is my first year here, and it comes down to winning their trust and them trusting in me as a coach. And at the end of the day is, you know, one of my mentors once told me is, all you can hope is to put them in position to succeed. And I felt like I did my best to do that, and for them to be able to succeed and then, you know, to seek me out right after the buzzer was really, it meant a lot to me, and that's something that I will cherish forever.
Now, GW's always been a fanatical sports school, and coming to campus after winning the chip, the players, especially the seniors, said the atmosphere at school was nuts.
All of my teachers were congratulating me. One of my teachers got me breakfast. And you know, all of my friends, they're like, "Hey, what's up, champ?" Since sophomore year, we've been wanting this, and finally being able to get it, it feels good.
When it comes to memories, they immediately recall what precise moment and subsequent lecture turned their season around.
It was that Southern game. That Southern game, we got blown out by like 20. And then coach, after the game, he got on our butts and he told us we needed to pick it up. And we have no more mistakes like right after that Southern game. So we won against Tiza and JFK, and then we won against Sanchez and brought it home.
And so with momentum, intensity, and confidence, the Geckos are getting squared away for this weekend's epic GSPN Champions vs. Champions game. While they're riding high to represent ISA, the task now is staying locked in for their next challenge.
We just allow ourselves to play to our best ability. So, you know, we do what we do best, you know, whether it's getting to the rim, getting open shots, we just do what we do best.
Before we even started the season, when we were practicing before the season started, we all wanted to come together as one team. Like, we all wanted to move the ball. Before we started any games, we all made it like a choice to move the ball around. That's what basketball is really about, you know?
They've done what they set out to do and became a singular unit. And above all, they continued the proud Gecko tradition of doing it together.
They gave me a chance, and that's all I asked. Give me a chance. And for me, I guess for them to be able to trust me again, you know, I think it speaks volumes for them as individuals and as kids. You know, I'll be the first to say they're the ones that made me look good, because really it came down to what they performed on the court.
KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup is brought to you by Gatorade. Greatness starts with G.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Now to your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutout submitted on KUAM.com.
Weekend birthdays first going out on Sunday to Francine Cruz. You, Francine, are an amazing, compassionate woman who can make anyone laugh. Happy birthday, beautiful, and then please enjoy your special day on Sunday, the day of rest, coming from your beloved sisters. Shayna Rose Cabrera Guzman, happy birthday number 17, and may God continue to bless you on this special day and always. We love and miss you so much, says your family. And happy birthday number 22 to Joven Robigo. Happy 22nd, Joven. Your family says we love you.
That's it for us here on Weekend Edition. For more news, go to KUAM.com or visit us at KUAM News on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. You can also watch us on Peacock.